Very good morning, viewers. Another day, another AI massacre. We have news of an app actually using, autonomous chatbots, no human intervention to hack another app. It's a startup app, and this is the news across. So now the, ball falls on OpenAI and Anthropic. Not are they just helping people actually plan phishing attacks or execute cyber crimes, but they're autonomously doing this. So today we have Mr. Pankaj Srivastava, who is the CEO of UnoSearch. So UnoSearch is a US based company which also tackles AI and cybersecurity, and we have to understand from him what is it that has gone wrong and what is it that we can do to course correct. So thank you so much, sir, for joining this discussion this morning.
Thank you.
Sir, I want to understand where did the lapse come from? We all understood that AI cannot act on its own. It's like a calculator, it's like a tool, and we have to give the prompt. But without a prompt, what happened that this app was hacked?
So there is something called autonomous AI also, autonomous AI agent. They do not need any human intervention. In this particular case, the autonomous AI agents, which can chain together with for to do multiple actions without continuous human guidance, they were being used in this particular case. And because of the vulnerability of the startup, it was able to break through their security system. This was the use case in this particular case, which AI models, as you know, in AI, it is not months, it is not years. The speed of an advancement and speed of release of new models, new capabilities is weeks. It is not month. So every week it is becoming extra smart, and that is what happened in this particular case.
No, I'm completely astonished, sir, because you know I understand autonomous AI agents is a very big business proposition. It tells companies that AI is going to be another worker for you. But we know cases when even humans, suppose you were running a company, and I join your company and I steal a laptop, and then I take the company files, or I work for a rival and I try to sabotage company secrets. But now when AI is also not, being trusted, so if suppose I was the human involved, you would be booking me under sections, you would be handing me to the police. What do we do about the AI doing some kind of crimes? What kind of action can be taken? And of course, any AI company is run by a CEO. So he might say, "Ki my autonomous agent doing whatever is not."
Your voice lost last 15 seconds. I lost the voice in last 15 seconds. Yeah, now I can hear
So
it.
I just want to understand who takes responsibility for such an autonomous act, and how would you hand them to the law police, or the law enforcement?
So let us think about this particular case. Autonomous AI agents also are owned by some organization. It cannot act on itself. Yes, it does not require continuous human monitoring, but at least a trigger point it requires, right? Any machine requires at least switch on, switch off button. So whoever is responsible for switching it on should be behind the bars.
Lot of sense.
Okay.
But now the main question arises, how can we prevent such a situation? Because, see, we do know that cyber attacks will keep happening no matter how much sensitization is going to be there. But now this is the first case. And now
Hmm.
from here, we want to tighten the guardrails because we anticipate that such events will become a common occurrence. They might be used for ransom, they might be used for just, maybe AI testing its capabilities, because we also know about sentience of AI. AI is trying to, compete with humans now that it has, learned the ropes. And mind you, a child takes, probably 20 years to reach the workforce. another 5 years to establish themselves in the workforce. But AI is doing it in 4 years only. So since 2022 to 2026, it's a phenomenal leap that we have AI agents joining the workforce. So how do we ensure that such events do not occur tomorrow?
So, before we plan to prevent such vulnerabilities, let's talk about uh, who are at risk. So, as we discussed in last discussion, also there are three types of entities who are at risk. One, humans, the personal branding of high net worth individuals or CEOs, they are at risk. Then the organizations, the companies, and lastly, but the sovereign countries, they are at risk. Okay, so and we have to also understand what types of cyber attacks or AI enabled cyber attacks can happen. For example, on humans, like voice cloning, the digital identity cloning, these types of attacks can happen. And on companies, on their major IT infrastructure, the attacks can happen through AI enabled cyber attacks. So, to protect it, what we need to do is we need to first be aware that it will happen. First is awareness. And in every board of a company, there should be a technical person as a consultant or as an in-house employee. They should sit there and they should, in case they don't know about the cyber security and all, but at least they should be aware that we need this kind of solutions. So at every place, at every
Hmm.
gate, there should be a AI enabled. It is like AI versus AI. AI
Yes.
enabled cyber security should be enabled. No one should be trusted.
Hmm.
In case when we are looking for security, AI enabled cyber security, we cannot trust any individual or team. There
No, you're
should be a
completely right. You're completely right, sir, because zero trust is a concept I've been listening for a long time in cybersecurity. You cannot trust your employees because, see, everybody has a cost, everybody
Hmm.
has a motive, and you need to be vigilant because this is your vision. Suppose this is your company, this is your vision. So, people might join for profits, people might join for opportunities, but at the end of the day, it's a solo ship. Like, I have seen even while covering startups that there are conflicts between co founders. They might be both parents to the startup, but one parent just kind of goes in a different direction. We have seen that with Bharat Pay, we've seen that with other organizations. But then coming back to the AI aspect of things, I mean, India having too many startups, mushrooming, we are at the risk of such an AI led cyber attack for ransom, for data stealth, just to probably get into the loophole of things. The AI might just be testing its capabilities. So, how ready do you think Indian companies are when it comes to tackling such cyber attacks, either in house by a human or, by an agentic AI?
In my analysis, my understanding of the data, Indian companies are not ready yet. But the one thing is that they are getting aware. They are like getting the awareness is spreading fast. But currently, companies are not aware. They're not ready. So as of now, it is reactive. It is not proactive. Unless and until something happens wrong, normally people don't take any action. There is a reason also for Indian companies not being so hyperactive, proactive. Reason being is the major cyber attack happens on America because the leverage is extremely high. A cyber attacker, a cyber criminal, in case they hack a small company also of America, the exchange of money, the leverage is extremely high. So that's why probably they are not investing their time and resources on Indian companies majorly, and that's the reason we are not ready. But then, as you know, the speed of AI is within weeks. The models are
Hmm.
coming, new models are coming, and it's a two-way sword. If it is with good people, the same AI is with bad people also. So
Yes.
sooner or later, they will also they will create some model in which
Yes.
the cost of attack is extremely low, and
Hmm.
such low cost AI cyber criminals will be deployed for India and in emerging countries like India.
No, you're completely right, sir. I completely agree on that. And I can tell you something that when I used to attend press conferences of, agentic AI launches, they used to talk about BFSI. And BFSI, mind you, is a very regulated sector in India. वहां पर साइबर सिक्योरिटी को एक्सेप्ट करने में या फिर एजेंटिक एआई के रोल को एक्सेप्ट करने में देयर हैज बीन अ ट्रांजिशनल टाइम एंड नाउ slowly we are seeing AI becoming a part of healthcare, AI becoming a part of governments. We saw how the Pentagon actually used mythos to plan, the plan of action against Iran when it came to the missile strikes and everything. So now AI, we hate it or not, I mean, if you have seen that interview of the MEA minister, union MEA minister, um, Jay Shankar, he has spoken about actually talking to AI and how he would respond as that AI. So people do that. People do a lot of, devil's advocate pinballing with AI. And there has always been a question on how safe my data is if I don't have an enterprise plan, or even if I do. So when it comes to, reliance on AI, where are we at this position? And as somebody who works with the technology, what are your preventive strategies to ensure that, you do not get into the trap of AI misusing the information that you give it out?
What you said very rightly is the major sectors, the BFSI is at highest value they possess. Okay, followed by healthcare, defense, and other in important infrastructure companies. They possess the highest risk. So how they can secure is at each and every level, even individuals computer level, deploying of there are many AI enabled cybersecurity tools, softwares, checks, audits already in place, and it has to be installed at individual level, server level, and each and every process level. The cybersecurity should be deployed. Now, in case uh, we do not do this, in case we don't do this, then what I have seen from my experiences, many of my clients who did not pay attention to what the cyber security and all, so your years of hard work, years of uh, ha- IPs and expertise on a particular subject matter or infrastructure is at a very high risk, and the cost which you'll have to pay for this is sometimes it is too much actually. It is one of the risks which should be discussed in each and every board meeting. This is what my view on it is.
No, no, this is absolutely a very balanced view. But sir, as a strategist, I want to ask you, suppose I have an MSME, I'm a very micro, small, medium enterprise, and there are other people also, based on the scale, you can't determine a fixed budget. This is the amount of money you have to apply to cybersecurity, but there must be a percentage. So, what percentage of a company's profits or revenue or investment should go into cybersecurity to ensure that a stitch in time saves nine?
That's a that's a very interesting question. What percentage of uh, money should go into security? I don't think this can be answered through any percentage. But what I can assure, I see other people doing, other companies, responsible companies doing, it is the as audit is accepted process. There's no company, small, big, or medium, which are not getting their accounts audited, because that's a mandate by government, right? So since as of now, cybersecurity is not mandated by government, so it's not a mandate. People are not doing it. But what I'm saying is, increasingly, everyone is at least a point looking for an auditor, looking for a cybersecurity expert, and ready to. So, to answer your question, what percentage? To that percentage, I don't right now know, but I can say what for very sure that every company, small, big, or medium, should hire
Hmm.
at least consultant, at least
Hmm.
auditor you hire, at least you get your assets audited.
No, that is
And
that is completely right because I was sitting with the medical foundation. It's not even like a proper company, it's like an NGO. And they were talking of having AI technologists to, aid their operations because they understand that, you might be on the ground. You might have different events, marketing, planning. You have different functions. You have a CEO, you have a CMO, you have a COO, you have a CTO. So that CTO is now very important for every company. Like, even if I am a journalist, I need to have the technical expertise. Either I myself have it, or I hire a consultant to, probably see how my live streams are happening. Because we've seen very recently YouTubers also suffer outages. Like, suppose a Tesla led attack. Like, there was the Tesla Elon Musk live streaming happening on Tanmay Bhatt's channel, and he almost lost access to all his content. And I think even Ranveer Alabadia, in between, there was some news a couple of years ago where he lost access to all his videos. And then, of course, the whole restoration process goes on. But, for a small creator like me who doesn't have probably direct access to YouTube India, so it might be very difficult for us to get, our content access back. And I'm giving a very small example. There might be very small companies like, probably into core manufacturing with not very heavy infrastructure, not very sensitive guardrails, because all of us are probably mostly on Gmail, mostly using our social medias. And it can be very easy to penetrate those layers because they're, at the end of the day, they're probably open. They're not enterprise. They're not in your control. So in that case, probably content strategy or, agriculture or other sectors also, if you have to give an agnostic advice on how to safeguard content, IPs, products, or, inventory, or, whatever your product is, your investment into the website or whatever, how can people safeguard? And then also there comes the whole data aspect of things. Suppose I am a company collecting data and that data gets leaked, that data gets hacked, हमने गवर्नमेंट के न्यूज़ पढ़े कि आधार डेटा लीक हो गया. So in that scenario, from like a small company or a YouTube channel to probably a government level infrastructure, how do they maintain the safety of, their content and the consumer's content or data?
so it starts with awareness, that they need to be aware first of all. Then the second step is hiring a external agency or hiring a internal staff at highest level. They should be given the highest level authority, understanding that it's not about trusting a human being. Okay, a human being may not be doing it intentionally, but their laptops can be compromised, right? The laptops they use, they use, sometimes people use through phone they access their company assets.
They use
Sometimes
public Wi-Fi, and we all know public Wi-Fi is dangerous. But
yes.
कभी connect हो गया automatically, हमारा Wi-Fi on रह गया and वो auto connect हो गया. There is no password. We have those lapses also happening.
Yeah. So the checks and balances, routine audit, and the monthly review in the board meeting is the only way to protect it. And mark my word, if you do all
Hmm.
these, on a daily basis and a monthly review by the management teams, then you can have a peaceful night. I mean, you can sleep peacefully. It is not, if you are aware, like it's like putting a lock in your house and
Yes.
installing
Yes.
CCTV and having a watchman. There are three
Hmm.
checks, right? If watchman misses, the CCTV catches. If in case CCTV is damaged, then there is a lock. Then people are also implementing CCTV cameras inside their homes. So 4 5 checks balances. That's why you see the physical uh, theft has come very less actually. Physical
Absolutely.
theft.
No, I completely agree, sir. And I have spoken to tech CEOs who've told me that they use different numbers for different purposes. Like one number is solely for OTPs because you can't sign into apps for, without giving your number. Now, for a person like me, my number is on PR platforms also. My number is, on Aadhaar card also. And then my number is, on the OTPs or probably a Domino's, which is such a low hanging fruit. So my number is pretty vulnerable. I do understand that. But still, probably because my phone doesn't have two SIM slots or I don't want to, bifurcate. I don't have want to have the headache कि अच्छा एक number इसको दिया एक number इसको दिया आप कैसे handle करें. But now if suppose my company increases to like 100 crores revenue, I know that I need to have layers. So for people who are in high stakes roles like probably government or probably a big enterprise, a stock enterprise registered on the exchanges, what is it that they can do for their personal cybersecurity so that their data does not get compromised through their devices or their internet usage?
Depending upon the value you are as a person, the high net worth individuals, so you can consider yourself as a company. Okay, let's take an example of a influencer, Instagram influencer, YouTube influencer. So think about their monthly turnover or yearly turnover. Sometimes they act as a corporation. Their annual turnover is equivalent to a mid-sized company. Okay, so they have to consider themselves as an enterprise and deploy a cyber security audit. They have to run their individual business as a corporation. That's the only way to sleep peacefully. Okay,
No, sir, that makes a lot of
that's what
sense.
my
And
advice.
can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I can.
What I'm
I
saying,
can hear
sir,
you.
is that we really simplified this discussion. It was very complex. I was reading BBC articles and everything. But you've actually given us actionables because, I was speaking to the Norton head of, India operations at one point, and he told me how his own father got like a phishing link from Amazon. And it wasn't an Amazon link. And at the first sight, ki ye kya hai. But maybe our parents and grandparents don't know that. But the awareness and the budgeting and probably the the presence of at least one auditor, like all of us in our life, even though like suppose I might not have like a crore of revenue at the end of the year or even 50 lakhs for that matter, but I do have a CA to see into my ITR, and I pay him probably just 1 month in a year, but that is enough to keep my checks and balances in place. And कभी मुझे बीच में लगा कि something is going haywire, I will consult him. So all of us have a CA, all of us have a doctor, all of us have, our beauty services also. But we do not invest in cybersecurity the way we invest in probably a CCTV. So this has been a very fruitful discussion to understand what companies, high net individuals, and even normal people can do to, safeguard themselves from a problem that's just beginning. I think there is like after this discussion, aisa nahi hoga that the AI agents will be all tamed down. No, I am sure at some part of the world, another cyber attack is just in the making. But we are still, developing a mechanism to, in a way, combat that. And I think we need people like you to have such more discussions with us so that we keep understanding what is it that we can do to safeguard ourselves. And I thank you so much, sir, for your time this morning. We will
Thank,
again join shortly, with more panelists probably the next time and understand more new developments in AI that are coming forth. And for viewers, thank you for tuning in and keep watching the NEAP for the latest updates. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
thank you.